Ando. ¿Qué motion was that?
I think so. Yeah, excuse him as well. Right?
Yeah. Hey, Yanka, we have to excuse Javier also, right? He's elected official. Well, he's elected official like all of us. Está bueno. Cotula City Council meeting. City Council will meet for a regular meeting on Thursday, April 5th, April 25th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Alexander Convention Center, room 290 and I-35, Access Road, Cotula, Texas. This is an open meeting subject to the open meeting laws of the state of Texas.
Roll call.
Roll call. Moving on to roll call. Bianca, did anyone call in? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Four, three of them. Oh, I need a motion. All in favor, say aye.
A second.
Oh, all opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Um, moving on for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Moving on to four. Citizens to be heard. City cannot discuss any present issues, nor may any action may be taken at any given issue at this time. Attorney General, opinion JC 0169. City Secretary, is there anybody? Okay. Moving on to five, departmental and committee reports. M- Municipal, it's called, yeah, municipal court. None of our
Mayor, we have a report from the report submitted. It's in the packet. There's actually no action in the last.
Okay. All right. Moving on to code compliances.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, and Mr. Wright. So my report was submitted in the packet also. I do have an update. 601 J Street, the property has been cleaned and the lien has been filed on it. Under junk vehicles on Carrizo Street, two sites. That's all I had in addition to what was provided.
Move.
On that one, I did issue a notice. I did go deliver him a door tag, and I've been working with him. He's been in some areas. But it was on Wednesday, so he's not doing as good. He's making some progress, some type of progress. I'm working with them.
Do any issues with different individuals that are having?
On the junk vehicles, if you refer back to the last order, I moved 18. For the month. There still is some. I'm still working with them. But they are responding the way they should. I've got an 18-wheeler on Dorr Street that it doesn't have a transmission, so it's hard for the gentleman. And it works, I think, 14 days on, 14 days off. So I'm trying to get it. They are responding.
Generally, the city's view of, code enforcement, we don't want them to be an entity going to be harassing of the public or burden on the public. As long as the public making an effort to comply with what the city's asking, we do give them the appropriate time. When we have residents that just don't reply to us, that's when we have to go further. And
That's all I had.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Moving on to wastewater.
Good evening, Council, Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Wright. For the water, for the month of March, we had 527.80 feet in the aquifer. Our demand was 22,311,100 800,000 gallons, with a daily demand of 800,000 gallons per day. And as far as our water wells go, we did have well number 8. They came out, they pulled it, we ordered it. The recommendation was to go ahead and pull the pump just to make sure that there was no issues with it. So as of this afternoon, they are taking a look at it. So we should have some information. Hopefully, we should have that. How we should proceed with well 8, number 8.
Well 8 is the well located at Cherokee and Choctaw.
Yeah. Also the
Yeah.
Do we have any other issues with the other check?
we did well number 9. We did have some Saturday or this past weekend. What we ended up having to do was take out the guts of the check valve, which opens and closes when we removed it because it was causing some issues. And once we removed it, we had to turning up the VFD so we can increase our demand production. Excuse me. So once we did all that, it began, and then the Buckley well have been able to keep up with the demand. We did order the new check valve. Just waiting to see what the time frame is as far as getting it and install it. We have they're going to come in, install it, and make sure everything is working correctly on it before they leave.
There's our well system works on a SCADA system, which is a computer system, turns on and off as needed, and it's really 100% ran on a computer system. We go to well sites every day. We check oil, we check sounds, we make sure everything's operating the way it should be. Well number 8, we have had some issues with it. I did have a meeting with Peerless Equipment and the city's engineer, and there was a well was shutting for reason. We wish that while we were out there, we saw that the well was cycling, the well and that pressure valve was cycling on it. When that was happening, it was locking closed and it was deadheading the well so that no production would go into the system. At that point, we made the decision, like he said, to take the guts out of it, to remove everything on the inside of that valve so that we could gain production from that well to the city. As that was happening, we only had one operational well in the city. We met half of the demand with that well. So within half a day, we possibly could have ran out of water. Quick thinking, we got it fixed and got it operating. There's another valve in the ground that has to be operated manually, turn on and off. So there is staff going out there in the morning and the afternoons and performing that duty. Jimmy did order the valve. The valve was over $11,000. It's an emergency. We ordered it. Well number 9 is the same thing. The pump's been pulled out. Now the Solonsky will go through the pump and see if it's still usable, viable, and they'll let us know, and then we'll come to council for ratification with whatever happens with that one. So
Do we have a backup system in case the power fails?
Currently, we have no back. We have an open grant. $2.5 in this emergency management. And at that point, we're going to initiate the generator backup project for the wells.
What are you looking as far as lead times on these parts with both of those wells?
I'm just waiting to hear back on the check valve. It's like Mr. Wright said, it is operational. And as far as well number 8 goes, that as they just pulled it out today, I just have to wait and see what the recommendations are, and then I'll find out how long the lead time is on that.
The turnaround for the other repairs that we've done this year has been quick. It's been about a week's time. when these kind of things happen, you know, we understand the community needs water, and I've seen, and we've done in the past, we've sent hot shots to other states to go pick these things up so we can get it here as quick as possible. You know, we're not going to lax on this, and we're going to make sure that it's taken care of.
Sounds good.
Any other questions on the water?
I have one more.
Yes, sir.
Replacing the check valve. What are we looking as far as downtime on that?
Downtime, like I mentioned, I'm waiting to hear back on the ETA on that. We ordered it this past week. Usually,
I'm saying like to pull it out and put the new one in. What are we looking at? A couple hours?
Yes, sir. It won't take. It shouldn't take long. It's just removing a few the bolts around the check valve and just dropping it straight in.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
But think about it. To be safe, though, we may get the other well up and running before we do it, so we don't run into trouble and get stuck. But
Good. Moving on to gas.
Well, so I'm doing all three. So,
Wastewater.
Okay.
but on the wastewater, they did complete the sewer line, and we did walk the entire sewer line project. And there were a few items that they need to go back out there and correct. And the contractors are working on that to finish it up completely. So they're on the punch list. They had to raise up a few manholes and fill in some cracks in the roads where they did the work, and also they were gonna replace some, do some patchwork on the roads on Airport Road where the excavator tore it up. So they're working on that. So hopefully they should finish that up here pretty soon. Any questions on the wastewater?
Moving on to gas.
All right, on the gas, not that much to report. We do have the gas market price for the month of March was $2.90 a cubic foot, with 2,362 feet of cubic feet of gas that went through the city gate. And the drug and alcohol audit went well. We received a letter April 10th that we had no violation.
So as a requirement from the Railroad Commission, the city of Cotulla must drug test any employee that's in the gas department, or we would possibly put in the gas department, including office staff. We have an independent company. The name of the company is PAPS, that actually does all this and does the randoms. So when the Railroad Commission comes in for the audit, that's what they're looking for. And fortunately, we're required to have a separate company do it, and everything was in order. So there was no violations.
Good. Good, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to streets and parks. Robbie.
Mr. Thomas? Well,
Mr. Thomas?
since Mr. Thomas is not here, there's a report in the packet. If council wants to take a minute and go over it, if there's any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
I had a little question on the picking up tree branches. Are we people calling in and making work orders for that? Or is it just?
Yeah, the procedure with the ordinance that was passed last meeting, the procedure would be that they would call in the city hall and that we would make a work order and it would happen. Some people do just put them out at the curb, and either the county or the city goes and picks them up at that point. But if there's a need at that moment, they need to give us a call.
That pertains to the disabled and elderly, right?
Correct, disabled and elderly. So in his report here, what he's referring to is that we had a windstorm come through with rain and knocked down quite a few trees in the community. So at that point, the street department went out and they picked up all the limbs that they could find and everything that everybody put out. So along with the county, and they all disposed over at our, what they call the ramas. They disposed with it over there.
Draft curves.
So
How's the status at the branch location right now, the chipping, how's it going on?
the chipping,
Yes, sir.
so Robbie gave me a quote to actually He's got a mountain over there. He gave me a quote to actually have a company come in and do the chipping. The quote was in excess of $30,000, so I asked him to get another quote. I want to see if there's a company that may be cheaper. I believe in the past the city has paid between $20,000 and $25,000 for that service. So he's looking for another quote at this point.
So right at this time, we're short, two staff members that will transfer to the.
Yeah, in the street department, yes, sir, that's
for the
correct.
minute.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Everything good? All right. Moving on to sanitation.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Right. I think you see my transfer station solid waste report for March 2024. Total trips and rollouts. 470,040 pounds of trash was collected. At the transfer station, 63,800
We have 2 that have gotten a CDL, and we have 1 that's actually trying right now.
And it was just for that reason, you know, if we don't have a staff available, they can jump over and do it.
Correct.
You know, and that's what's happening, and it's starting to work out for them.
Sure.
You know, one thing I want to add to your report, Mel, the street sweeper came in.
Yes, sir.
So go ahead.
The sweeper came in, believe last week. The sweeper, it's a little bit different than the one we actually had. It's extremely high more tech than the other one. A lot of joysticks and a lot of buttons. I did have training on it last week. We'll train another individual, or the individual from the CLS will come down and train another individual. In the case that I'm on vacation or I'm out or I'm sick and the streets need to be swept, he can jump in and start sweeping also. A couple of things that I liked about the sweeper, even though it's kind of small, it holds 150 gallons of water. So he told me that I wouldn't have to be refilling constantly like I had to do the other one. So that's a plus. It's a 6-yarder in the back, where it collects the dirt. It's metal. What was the back, David?
Stainless steel.
Stainless steel. I'm sorry, stainless steel. So with the time, the corrosion, it won't happen. I mean, the other one was just metal, and it's not as loud as the other one. Y'all probably heard the other one around for the last 11 years or 10 years. This one is not as loud as that machine. Also, since it's a Cummins, it's warranty from Rush. So if I ever have engine problems, all I have to do is just take it down the road.
And that warranty on the Cummins turbo diesel is going to be an 8,000 hour warranty, which is really good.
So we got a pretty good deal on that one. So
I have a question, man.
Yes, sir.
The status on, I see a notice on at the city door, at City Hall, that the city is no longer going to be accepting shingles. What is the reason for that?
We are accepting shingles, but we put that because the trouble that we're having is that these companies are coming down and doing all these motels, and it's a large amount of shingles, and they've damaged our containers since they're already old. Now that we have new ones, they're going to damage it more. So we're not allowing it commercial. Maybe they should change, but commercial. But if they've been advised at the office that it's local individuals, local residents, they're knocking down a house, and a contractor's doing it for them. When they have this, everybody has to pay for the shingles. So when they go and pay, they're going to go pay for Mr. Johnson that lives on Tilton Street. We'll get the ticket. We'll allow them to deposit. This was mainly more for all the businesses that are going renovations. And they were causing a lot of damage to the containers.
I had a quick question.
Yes, sir.
I know you mentioned you were going to put some containers out of service. What happens to those containers when they're taken out of service? Are they sold for scrap? Do we just put them
That's
somewhere?
a good question. I've never, my 9 years here, 10 years, we never we always had the container. So that would be a decision that when it comes to that point, we don't know.
we've probably been here as long as you have or longer.
Longer.
So that's a good question. Historically, we've crushed things and sent them for metal. You know, we could do an auction on them. We could do different things though.
We do, like I said, there's one or two that lifespan is not that much longer.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Another year or
if they're
year and a
stored
half,
somewhere, or what we do with
Yeah,
them.
but that's a good question. So
Unless they want to buy them back.
sorry?
Said unless they want to buy them back.
That's the one that buy him back. Yes, sir.
You good?
You, sir?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
Moving on to accounting. We're gonna skip.
I think you missed animal control.
Yes.
Oh, the
Animal control, that's DJ.
Oh yeah, animal control. Sorry about that.
Good evening, everyone. For the month of March, I had a total of 5 work orders. had three dogs adopted, 6 dogs that were surrendered, 14 that were rescued, 4 of them that were returned to the owners. A total of 6 dead animals that were picked up. No dogs were euthanized for this month. And a total of 16 dogs that were picked up besides the ones that were surrendered. And a total of 14 animals that are caught in traps, including cats, possums, raccoons. And out of those 14, 3 of them were cats. And then kennels, they're clean, sanitized daily. You know, the dogs, animals are fed daily as well. And the grass around the area was cut.
You know, on top of that, you also worked CDL driving the trash truck.
Yes. Well, Mel and Robbie were out. I guess kind of filled in for them.
Yeah.
For Mel.
Thank you for that, man.
David, what is the condition of the facility itself?
Oh, the kennels are good. If anything, I want to say like one of the panels on the outside, it's loud enough. So all I have to do is nail it to a piece of wood. But other than that, it's just like one piece that's bent. But other than that, it's good. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to accounting.
Good evening, Councilman, Mr. Rutt. The first report up is going to be the sales tax collections. The city of Petula collected in April $262,096. The next report up is going to be the hotel motel tax collection. For the month of March, ending the quarter was $13,197, which is the second quarter $28. On page revenue $60,731, $1,147. On page 9, we're going to find the water and sewer fund totals. Total $31, which nets the city $18,281. On page 11, we're going to find the municipal gas fund total. Total revenue year to date for the municipal gas fund, $200. And $85 to income of $151,825. On page 13, we're going to find solid waste year to date. Total revenue is $604. Total $793. $689. The last report attached is going to be for the month of March. If there's any question, I'd gladly answer.
Mr. Garcia, why is the expenditure so costly
On which,
on the solid waste this time?
why are the expenditures so costly? Well, I mean, I
Pounds
guess-
of trash times tipping fee. So the amount of trash the city receives compared to what we have to pay Laredo landfill, it doesn't add up. I'm going to say I can speak for myself. I have 4 kids at home.
Okay.
I dispose of a lot of trash. Other people have no kids and they dispose of one bag, but a lot of people in Cotulla have kids. So I pay $15 a month for my trash, and I pay the same as what you would pay. So what's happening is that you're pretty much, I'm being subsidized by you. Okay. So a lot of pounds of trash. There's no limit, of how much I can put out. It gets picked up and it gets sent to Laredo, and we have to pay for that. So along with that, equipment purchases and staff and things like that have put us in a deficit. And I believe the city's been in a deficit in this department for more than 10 years now. Next meeting, I will have Mr. Jeff Snowden come in and give a presentation to the council so we can rectify this issue.
This includes the breakdown of vehicle, right? The trash truck expenses on.
That is part of it. That is part of it.
Do you feel we need to update the vehicles at this time?
Currently, we recently parked one trash truck that was an older trash truck that had been already replaced, but they were still using it. We have it as a backup truck at this point. I believe all the trucks that Mel are using are fairly new or within the last 5 years of age, correct?
Yes, the two ones we're using right now.
Okay,
And then we have another one that is an older one.
okay. And you have the equipment you need to perform at this point? Okay, very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, now moving on to 6, approval of minutes. It's 7:32.
Everybody's okay with the minutes? Seek a motion.
Everybody's okay with the minutes? Seek a first motion.
I'll motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion's carried. To be on to submitted by SRJC belong. This April as child abuse probation months in the city of
SRCJ, there's a letter from them for the city to do exactly that, designated as Child Abuse Prevention Month. They weren't able to make it tonight. We did move our meeting. Staff does ask the council for approval. Seek a motion.
I seek a motion by on a local agreement between city of Cotulla and LaSalle County Fire Rescue.
So we have two representatives from the county here with us, council, mayor. I'd like to see you go ahead and give us a short presentation, and we'll go from there. Mr. Butterfield.
Good evening. I'm Lola South. I actually wrote this speech in a third party because I wasn't supposed to be the one doing it,
Right.
but we'll try to make it work, okay? The headache and destruction of fire accidents, which can lead to great loss of life, property, and resources, increases the need for up-to-date fire safety measures. One critical approach to fixing the risk is adoption and rigorous implementation of building fire codes. These codes serve as an easy set of regulations created to minimize the risk and impact of fires within residential, commercial, and industrial buildings. This meeting will argue for widespread adoption of building fire codes. structural safety, safeguarding the PA 1 2024 edition, and the edition and the NFPA 1 2024 edition to move Cotulla and LaSalle County. Currently, the city of Cotulla uses IFC 2012 as a guidance for code enforcement of initial planning and construction of buildings within its jurisdiction. By creating a safe living and working environment for all our citizens and visitors, by setting the bar high and demonstrating that all incoming and interested companies the recent actions of the majority of the hotels within the city limits of Cotulla, we were alarmed to discover that several had yellow tags and the others were red tagged. What this means is that our hotels have fire suppression systems which either are not properly functioning or they do not work at all. And this is annual inspections that are compliant with the current IFC. The risk which it poses to the hotel customers' safety and well-being is of sufficient concern, and the liability that these insufficiencies pose to are detrimental to the financial livelihood of the business and the city of Cotulla as a whole. Along with implementation, we would benefit in improving our ISO rating, which in turn attracts the attention of larger corporations and require a lower ISO rating before moving or building in a community. The impact on our community with the potential growth of the business is not only beneficial to our citizens by increasing the number of job availabilities, but also increasing the revenue that goes back into the community annually, along with the benefit of homeowner and business owner insurance rates dropping. The implementation will be a slow process. It is not going to be something that business owners have to be concerned about trying to get done overnight. There will be sufficient time for businesses to become compliant. All current businesses will fall under the code that was implemented at the time the building was built, or they will fall under the NFPA 101 2024 edition. To be in compliance, one of the other things we have to do for ISO is we have to test fire hydrants for their pressures. And the fire marshal's office and the fire department will work in conjunction with the water department to make sure that these important numbers are recorded and we stay in compliance with the ISO rating. Do y'all have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This should help us help our city bring our fire rating lower, right?
It'll help bring your ISO rating lower.
Okay.
So this area started at a 10. Right now we have it at about a 5, and we're trying to get it at a 1.
Okay.
That's for the city at a
And
1. And the insurance rates, your business owners have definitely noticed a difference from a 10 to a 5, but from a 5 to a 1, they're going to notice a huge difference.
And it should make business insurance more cheaper.
Yes.
And it will attract businesses and growth to our community.
Yes.
Right.
There are certain businesses that will not rating is less.
Yes.
And with us being at a 5, we can't get some of those businesses. And with implementing this,
Understands as Mr. Chief Butterfield or Inspector Butterfield mentioned, the fire code is 2012. Our building code is 06. Our electrical code is 09. Everything is behind. This interlocal, I spoke to our attorney about it. Attorney had no objection, nothing that needed to be changed in interlocal. I am aware that this is something that has floated around the city for several years. I'm gonna be short and sweet about it. Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. We have one code enforcement officer. She's inundated with work. You know, I really feel this is something that's needed for the city. And we take a look at last year. How many fires do we have in the community? You know, RVs burning up. Nobody's watching.
So I was reading in there, so these inspections are going to be done by the city
So
code enforcement.
yeah. So Mr. Butterfield will be working with the city. The highlights of it is the county's willing to flip the bill that Mr. Butterfield city to the city judge, and we will enforce it through our municipal court.
You mentioned IFC.
Sure.
What that does is there's standards that are done every 3 years, and every 3 years there's a new set of books coming. And when I say adopt a fire code book, what the community can do, they can pick and choose what they adopt in that book. They don't have to adopt that whole book just like it is. So if there was something like all homes need to have, all residential homes need to have sprinkler systems, and you don't think that fits your community, you don't have to put that in. You can change whatever you need to change.
So another thing, what's the population here? There?
In Catula,
Yes,
I believe it's certified through the council in the 8,000.
8,000. So okay, if we get this right. Right. So
If I look at it under water command for the city, I could count our population at 15,000 no problem by the amount of
15,000,
water that we use.
15,000,
290 code is
right? Okay, and this gets approved. So look, our insurance, business insurance are going to be more lower, right? I mean, we get our fire rating lower. It's going to be not traction as well. Okay.
It's one more
So,
piece of
yes.
the pie.
Yes. So, are you good?
Yes, the more you do as far as your fire service and your inspections and your water department, that's what brings your ISO rating up, which in return brings your insurance ratings down.
Yes.
So this is something we've been looking at the county and getting an intercity agreement for several years. And we finally got to where we're having a good discussion about it.
Okay. Also, even though I'm the mayor pro tem, I am eligible to
You're
also
able to vote, so you can
motion.
make that
Okay.
motion.
Do you have anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, I have motion to approve interlocal agreement for the South County Rescue. I approve the first motion. I'm on the second it.
I'll second.
The motion, okay. A motion from Hernando. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion is carried.
If Butterfield, if he be implemented as soon as we get the agreement?
As soon as we get the agreement, we will start the process. The way I live in Zapata, so Zapata never had codes before, and I was one of the first fire inspectors that they had. And the way I work is I go based on approximate price of things, where I look at the cost to the business, and that's how I determine the amount of time it takes. Usually, major changes are like, so all things is usually between 6 months. And if it's a bigger project, something that I know costs a lot of money, like a hood system for extinguishing cooking stoves, those things can run anywhere from $25 to $1,000. So that type of thing, I'm going to give them a little bit longer. Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Butterfield. Ma'am, thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to 9, this discussion and possible action on a services requesting for permission to use the Plaza with free wave on Saturday, May 4th, 2024, to hold their mental health awareness resource fair.
Me had to leave. She had
From Lopez on. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. All opposed, say nay. Motion's carried. Moving on to 10, this discussion and possible action on a request submitted by Texas
I have a que-
Discussion and possible action for permission to close a portion of Front Street at each scheduled pop-up market.
So this one here also, I was Miss Story. She owns a business on Front Street. She's actually got three sections there. Cotulla Main Street program. Cotulla Main Street program initiated a pop-up market in Cotulla. When we lost the staff in that department, they call her Shuggy, Miss Story. She continued the pop-up market, and with much success. She's been continuing to do it since we lost our staff member. She requested for me that if there's a possibility that she could ask the city to have the street closed when she has her pop-up market, so she can bring more people into the community or people from the community to set up there and try to make some money and sell their products. We talked about it. The city of Cotulla has an ordinance that says a local resident of the city can only request, and we can only close the street one time a year. Being that this was initiated by the city, and I do fully expect that once we have staff again in our Main Street program, that the city will continue it. I was asking council, because as a city, we're allowed to close it as many times as we want throughout the year. I wanted to ask the council if they would allow that to happen, and we'll facilitate this with Ms. Story, and we will use city staff to close off the street and help facilitate the pop-up. So what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for a motion to, or an instruction to staff to go ahead and close the street when we have the pop-up events.
I motion on it. Can I see any?
I have a question on it. Is
Yes,
this going to require city employees to come in after hours?
It will on Saturdays or Sundays. Predominantly, it'd be on a Saturday. So she's going to have a small event, a small market on Thursdays, but that'll be confined to her property. The ones that we have once a month on a Saturday will be, the staff would have to come in.
You good?
I'll second.
All right. I motion. I have Mr. Garcia second. Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
I have a question. The portions of the street that are going to be closed,
Her business, which is the Western Wear store and the antique store, down to where the steakhouse used to be or that restaurant on the end.
it's from 97 on to center.
So H&R Block, the elections building, that remains open. One of the days that she was looking to do a pop-up was May 4th, and I told her that we couldn't do it that day because we do have general election. and that we need 2 passes of entry into the election office. So she was fine with that. Obviously, she's like, "That's fine. I can do it. We can do it other days." But
And after we hire a Main Street coordinator, this motion will be rescinded, right?
yeah, at that point, once our Main Street coordinator gets trained and they're familiar with everything that they have to do, then we'll have them initiate the pop-up markets for the city of Cotulla.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion's carried. This discussion and possible action to approve the accreditation in library system application for the Alexander Memorial Library.
So this item was put on the agenda. It's mostly informational purposes. This is one of the duties of the mayor is to sign this application and approval. I believe the mayor just wanted the council to see it and that it was being done.
Okay.
So if there's any discussion or questions, we can answer them. And I believe this is a yearly accreditation. Is it yearly, Bianca, or every 3 years? It's yearly?
I don't have any questions.
Good. Can I seek the first motion?
It's informational purposes.
Oh, okay, informational purposes. Moving on to 15. This discussion and possible action to approve a bid proposal submitted by Core and Main in the amount of 29 million. No, see, 29 million. No, to $29,673.70 for the Carrizo Well bypass project.
All right. In y'all's packet, y'all should have a bid, the quote there for the Carrizo Well project. As we mentioned, we want to utilize the infrastructure that's there. So what we'll do is they'll have a small altitude valve there, so we can use the water from the system, push it up into the ground storage tank, so we can use it as for water for storage. Because as of right now, we're not able to utilize the ground storage tank due to us not having a well. So that's extra that we're looking for.
Is this quote just parts or that labor?
The labor is going to be done by city staff, so that's just the parts.
The pressure valve for this one is $20,000.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's stout. It's
8-inch.
expensive. Yeah.
8-inch pressure valve. Yeah.
But Core and Main was the cheapest one.
Yeah,
No, I believe it. I've seen valves more expensive than that.
and that's because it's an altitude valve, and the difference between that valve and the valve that we have at the well 9 that we were talking earlier is that this one actually has to go push water up. So that's the reason why it's more expensive.
The end result of this is there's another section to this project also. After we complete this and we complete the bypass into the ground storage tank, Microcom is the company that handles our computer system for the water. We're going to wire this valve into our computer system so it'll be able to be operated 24/7.
Good deal.
In lieu of that, I have mentioned in other past meetings recently that we are looking for Texas Water Development Board monies to build a new water well. I mentioned a million gallon ground storage tank, which is bigger than the ground storage tank we currently have in town. That would go by well 8 at the fire station, and several other improvements, wastewater improvements, and line improvements throughout the city. Currently, and you guys, you are aware, I believe we got 19 million, 15, and then another in the past from Water Development Board, we got $1 million forgiveness. The city is currently eligible for 70% forgiveness. So theoretically, if they were to give us $20 million, 14 million of it would be forgiveness. So it's a really good time as far as, funds to get stuff like this done. Like grant monies or forgiveness money.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one needs to.
Okay. Can I seek a first motion?
I'll motion.
Can I seek second motion?
I second it. I have a question. The date, the starting date for this project, what is the starting date?
The starting date would be as soon as we can get all the parts in. So once we get all the parts in, we will have, we'll begin doing the work ourselves.
We really want to push to have this done before June. Summertime comes, our production goes up to around 2 to 2.5 million per day. And we need to get it done by then.
I was going to ask if you can give us an update, maybe next meeting with lead times and all that on parts.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Can
that.
do that.
Good. First motion is from Mr. Garcia. The second motion was from Mr. Lopez. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion's carried. This discussion and possible action on a donation request submitted by TCJ for their annual employee appreciation luncheon.
So, Council Mayor Pro Tem, this is a donation that's given to TDCJ on a yearly basis. Normal amount is $1,000, but it's totally up to you what you donate to them and if you even approve it.
I'm going to go ahead and say I agree. I mean, they provide a public service to us that not many people want to do. And I think, a lot of times that goes overlooked. And I think it would be a good deal for the city to support these people.
So the motion needs to say the dollar amount.
Yeah. And how much is
We usually give them $1,000.
1,000 more, right? I think the first motion
To approve,
to approve
$1,000.
$1,000.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Can I see a second? First motion from Mr. Lopez, the second from Mr. Garcia. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion's carried. This meeting is adjourned.
You need a motion.
It's 8:05 and I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
First, second, okay. First motion is from Mr. Garcia, the second from Mr. Lopez. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed, say nay. Motion's carried.